ESL One Cologne is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, MSI, DHL, Alienware, Betway, Logitech G, and PaySafeCard. Vodafone presents the pre-match.
It's a big day for German Counter-Strike. ESL 1 Cologne. The trophy sits in the center of the Lanxess Arena. 15,000 esports fans gather to witness Counter-Strike history being written. First the quarters, then the semis, now the grand final. Everyone in this arena has borne witness to something that just does not happen all that often. German Counter-Strike put back on the map. Navi taking over, undoubtedly the world's best team, and Simple putting a smirk on his face as he dives into this grand final. We do have the casters, of course, other voices joining us, and we're going to start that conversation right here, right now, because they're jumping into this just as much as we are. Henry G and Sadakist. Give them a warm welcome, please, Lanxess. They're going to be shouting about this grand final.
We are, and I think there's going to be lots to shout about. Look, Navi beat Astralis, big beat FaZe. That was the predicted final, Astralis versus FaZe.
Sure.
So a bit of a surprise on both counts. Now, the thing with Navi, as high as their highs can be, they have inconsistent lows. The good news is electronics looks much better throughout, but Big has looked phenomenal in every single match.
They really have. Navi's had a fantastic year, and hopefully it'll be really kind of found an amazing grand final coming up. And if they can win this one, I feel like it will be the beginning of something great. Finally get some decent form going on for them. But what can you say really about the Big journey? They've actually taken down some amazing teams on the journey in tight best of threes as well. Is this the end of the run, though? What do you think?
It's hard to say. I mean, Alex, you're with us as well. Henry, look, we've had lots of UK representations, but it's been a while since it's been on the stage. I'm sure both of you have to at least be loving Smooya's form.
It's good to see him, you know. Like Alex said earlier, like it's only one player, but sure, it's a start, right?
Hey, man, like the fact that he has just got to a grand final stage and he doesn't even have his like player autograph set yet.
He's got his own name.
He wrote Owen, bless him. And, you know, the fact that we've got to this stage, I mean, it's just, it must be like a fairy tale for him. I don't think he's really kind of, it's all sunk in.
I doubt it, but like I said yesterday, the encouraging part about the whole ordeal was that in those games against FaZe, they looked like they belonged. They had the emotion, they had Smooya, they had Lagia getting behind them as a coach. At never any point did they look like, okay, we shouldn't be here, we're on borrowed time. They were playing with determination, so that leads me to believe it's going to be a wicked game, Alex.
Fingers crossed. Our analysts are already suggesting it as well. Chad's actually painted quite a beautiful picture for potentially a full 5 maps. Thank you so much, Henry G and Sadakist. We'll be hearing more from them, of course, when we do jump into what will be, hopefully, more than 3 maps. I'm counting on a full performance. I want a full day of Counter-Strike, Chad.
There's 2 options that I see, 2 clear options.
Okay, paint them for me.
One of which, Big come out here on the stage in front of 15,000 fans, most of which are German, screaming for them, and the moment gets the better and they fall flat and lose 3-0.
Ooh, I don't like that one. What's next?
That's one of the clear options in my mind. The other is, they rise to the occasion, they come out here, looking at the map pool, looking at the way that Navi approached the game, the fact that the tactical side of things with Gob B lifting the team and getting stuck in and playing for the crowd gives us a 5-map blockbuster of back-and-forth Counter-Strike.
It's interesting you say that. One of my favorite quotes is, you know, in moments of high pressure, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall to the level of your preparation. And Big being one of the teams that prepared the most out there, they put in a lot of work day in, day out. I mean, even during the tournament, we've seen it from Gob and all the guys behind him, the analysts, the coaches, right? So I'm sure they know the way they need to play against Navi to win here. The question is whether they will be able to execute, because it's not as clear-cut as, yes, we need to play this way and we do it, we'll win. No, you have an amazing team on the other side. They're going to win some ridiculous rounds of their own. They're going to prepare, switch some things up. So I expect a good game. I don't see why Big would suddenly fall off in the grand final when they've been playing so well in the playoffs so far.
I mean, if that was ever going to happen, Chad, my argument would be your first option, I mean, that would probably have been a quarterfinal, right? You come out, you are first experience with the Lanxess Arena. It's not like their opponent was any slouch.
Look, let's be honest about this team. They've only played 30 maps together as a roster, and that's including online matches. That's 21 if you only consider LAN, and out of those 21 matches, they've only won 11. They don't have the same level of experience as an RV. They don't have the same level of big stage experience. Sure, we didn't see them crumble in the quarters. We didn't see them crumble in the semis. They actually rose to the occasion, and they had some blistering victories to close out both of those games, a 16-1 and a 16-5, I believe it was. So they've proven their worth, and they've proven that they definitely deserve to be here. But in a best of 5, when you've only played 5 different maps on LAN, this is where it gets a bit questionable.
And this is where the conversation starts with Navi. I mean, I think this is actually very, very interesting to see their resurgence and their rise to power once again, because they are a historic name in Counter-Strike. I don't think I need to tell you that. But this is also a roster that's had its fair share of problems, Yenko. I mean, it was relatively public knowledge that 2 of their players weren't far from trying to depart the team, and now they're in a grand final. I mean, it's not been easy for them.
Yes, and that's why I think that the comparison to MIBR is great, because they have actually managed to unite, solidify the team after all those roster rumors, and they came out of it even stronger and even better. They started improving rather quickly. They gave Electronic a bigger role, and he's been performing amazingly well so far in 2018. So I think Navi now, after a string of these good results, they realize, okay, we should just stick to this team. We figure things out in terms of roles, in terms of who takes up how much space, and now we can just work on improving and getting better.
Chad, I have a problem. I have a short-term memory. Perhaps you can help me out here. Zeus left this team and won a major, right?
Indeed.
He left this team, won a major, and now he joins this team again, and they're in a grand final. What happened in the middle there?
There was some mess. There was a couple of roster changes that needed to happen. Obviously, Caesar was there at that point. They needed to bring in Electronic. They needed to find out the roles. They needed to work everything out, iron out the kinks. Simple throughout all of that was just still a god of Counter-Strike. It was just making it look easy. But it did look like this team was going to fall apart based on, you know, the way that Russian CS is. It's quite fiery. They do get very passionate. But they've definitely, I think, probably since DreamHack Winter last year, been looking solid, been looking on the right path, and right here, right now is a great chance to prove it. Yeah, and I think one player proved that he has something left in the tank. I saw some crazy dates throwing around with the last time Zeus put in a performance like he did in that semi-final. It was, I don't know if you remember it, Yenko, but it was mad.
2015. Against the Bulgarian team. I think it was actually in Krefeld, not far from here, one of those Ace to Predator tournaments. But yeah, he didn't have to do much really in the teams that he was in. He always had star players around him. So I think that was a one-off. And I wouldn't expect him to play on the same level here, but he doesn't need to.
Well, that was on Inferno, right? And that's one of the maps that he tends to play better on. I think he will have a chance in this best of 5 here to play Inferno again, so we can see if that can come out once more, that heavy CT side of play.
I am so glad you started talking about maps, because it's perfect time for us to have that conversation. Best of 5 tends to mean it's more about order, and I assume you already know one of the bands, Navi and their Cash.
Yeah, Cash for Navi, Mirage for Big, so the pool is clear-cut. It's about the order of it, and for me, a big talking point is going to be Nuke, right? Because Big doesn't really play it. They always beat Mirage. They played it once. They won, but I think it was in that Portuguese tournament, if I remember correctly. And for Navi, that could be an obvious punish. But you're not sure how they feel after getting smashed yesterday by Astralis, even though Astralis is obviously a much better Nuke team than Navi. I think Navi should pick it probably in the second phase. They go for Overpass in the first one. That's been their go-to map for a while now.
Yeah, and they did look solid on that. You know, obviously a lot of force buys and keeping them honest. AWPs are going to play a big factor, and if they can keep the money down on a player like Smuya, I'm not sure what level of impact he can come, but that is the standard pick from Big here, because it is a punish as well for Navi.
I love that it got to the stage in Counter-Strike where 15,000 people cheer a map pick.
Here's the thing, Alex. German Counter-Strike, if you remember, well, you probably don't. 10 years ago, Mouse Sports, with Gobby as the in-game leader, were absolutely amazing on a map like Dust 2. So the fact is, it's not a surprise that they're leaning towards it. That's Train coming out as the third. Interesting pick there from Navi. Big weren't any slouches on it. Obviously, they were blown out earlier by Fnatic in the tournament. But when they played yesterday, it was a very back-and-forth affair.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think for Train, you maybe would have preferred Nuke for Navi there. It would have been a bigger punish, but it's maybe them feeling we don't want to pick Nuke so that they can start on the CT side, and you know that might be a third map or something. We can leave it for the end and decide the game there. No surprises that Big would pick Inferno over Nuke. They had so many amazing wins in the playoffs, and even in the groups against Renegades and MIBR in overtime, so definitely have played it out as much as possible in this tournament.
You jotted them down, Chad. Why don't you think out loud now you know that order?
I think this is a chance to at least go 4 maps. You know,
okay.
I think if Nuke came up earlier, that's where you could have potentially been seeing the 3-0 come out.
Okay.
Now, I know Dust 2 is one that Navi would have to have looked at a lot, right? They're going to have to sit there and go, we know this is coming up. We know what our permaban is. We know it's going to come early in the veto. So I hope they've prepared a little bit better for this because their CT sides have looked very weak. So this, in my mind, is at least going 4.
I mean, Overpass was impressive from Navi. I think that's probably my biggest takeaway is that first map's going to be tough.
Yeah, Overpass was impressive, especially considering they lost both pistols. They were 3-0 down in both halves versus Astralis. They were standing here saying, in order to beat them, you don't want to give them a strong economy, full gun rounds. Astralis had that, and Navi still broke them and won the game. So I think that makes it super impressive and very difficult for Big to open up the grand final.
Well, we've heard our analyst's view. Now we're going to go ahead and hear from Trace because he's at the view, and we're going to get ready to get those players on the stage.
My, oh my, I do have the best view in the house here, and I don't just mean that because I'm looking at Duncan right in his eyes. We have the Vodafone view, and it is almost time to get into this best-of-5 grand final. Did we even forecast this? Was this on anyone's radar that it would be big Navi?
I think there was always a possibility Navi could make it there. They have the best player. They've been gradually improving, won a couple of tournaments. Sure, not as FaZe and Astralis at all these competitions, but Big, I think, came completely out of left field. I mean, most people didn't even expect them to make any kind of distance here. We have this matchup.
Yeah, well, I mean, this matchup being Smooya, I think all of Cologne has embraced Smooya at this point. And then Simple, the Undertaker himself. Now, it's one of those things where I think if you're God B, you're going to try to hard anti-Simple.
Certainly, teams are going to try and isolate him, going to try and stay away from his site, exploit Zeus when they can. I think Smooya can be a crucial part there. The best player on their team is actually Nex, but Smooya's the guy who's been getting the impact kills. He's been shutting down the Orpas. He was doing a really good job against Guardian, and crucially, he's been winning clutches. And if they want to have a chance in this final, he has got to win clutches.
Now, they have made it all the way to the final. Smooya, for all it's worth, is relatively a rookie, dare I say. So he makes it this far. He has the crowd at his back, but did the adrenaline wear off? Did the gas run out?
You'd love to believe the miracle could happen. They could go all the way. The movie, they lift up, you know, the culture. Unfortunately, I think Navi's going to win this one. I'll give Big a chance. They could take Dust 2. That's not impossible. And listen, my boy Kenny S almost finished them off when they played that map before. I'm saying Simple bangs on them. Navi 3-1.
Navi 3-1. Well, I'm hoping that the hometown heroes can do it, but only time will tell. And it is just about that time, ladies and gentlemen. Best of 5 grand finals, ESL 1 Cologne 2018. Let's do this.
It's very nice to see a lot of people who cheer for us from all over the world. When you hear the name Navi on that big tournament like ESL 1 Cologne, you always feeling something inside your heart. It's such a good crowd, and we will do our best, and we will try to win the tournament.
The crowd is absolutely electrifying. What I've experienced so far is already like so far beyond what I ever thought I'd experience through CS. So if we win this LAN, holy hell, I don't even know. I'll like rip my shirt off like nothing did at that LAN.
We are going to play against Navi, and I think it will be a really hard game, but we came so far, we wanted so much more than them, and I think we will destroy that 3-1.
Welcome to ESL One Cologne 2018. Welcome to the Cathedral of Counter-Strike. And I got a fever for a grand final. You can't have a grand final without the team. So please welcome to this bear pit. Go wild. It's Navi and Big! We're going to continue this church thing. Navi and Simple have the FPS mode. He is the best player in the world, and that team is starting to join him on that level. They're the favourites. But what can we say about Big? They shouldn't have been on this stage for the quarters. They shouldn't have won the semi. They've made it to a grand final. The analysts don't believe in them, but 15,000 people in the Lanxess too, including Smooya as well. They could win this today. It is the classic battle. Favourites against underdogs. The gods of the esport world against a team that just might do it. Who's going to win this? Is it going to be Navi? Is it going to be Big? Is it going to be Navi? Is it going to be Big? Let's get it on! For some people, dreams remain dreams until you die. And for 5 people on that stage, dreams will become reality at the end of this best of 5. It is the ESL One Cologne 2018 Grand Final. They say it never has a home team, and every single one of those rules have been broken, because it's going to be Big versus Navi, and I have my analysts to understand and comprehend how this one plays out. Janko, this first map.
Yeah, I think it's very important because, you talk about the crowd, we all talk about it, now they have a home team. To make it a bit clearer for people who watch this, it's not going to suddenly make Smooya a better offer than Simple or anything along those lines, but what it's going to do, it's going to make everyone feel hyped. The atmosphere is going to be great on the team, the communication is going to be flowing, and that leads to great usage of utility, right? People flashing for each other, saving the smoke, saving the incendiary. And sure, Simple is the best player on the server, but if he has to jump through a smoke and through a fire and his flash half of the time, or coming into fights with half HP, well, then it's going to be much more difficult for him, and that's how Big is going to try and beat Navi.
Big leading the tournament in average damage per round with utility. Against all of their opposition. It's insane to see just how powerful they can be before a bullet is fired.
They've definitely done their homework. They use the utility very well. They have very good team play. The strats are there. The decision making, of course. I think the fact of the matter is that adrenaline that Janko was just talking about, it can help and it can hinder. In a lot of situations, if you're going to play off of that and you're going to push into a situation where normally you'd be calm, normally you'd be under control, you're going to be giving away free kills. So you have to make sure that you're using it to your advantage and not letting it get the better of you.
And does it change, Chad? You played in front of a crowd, perhaps not quite this loud, but you played. Does it affect the actual Counter-Strike itself? Are you playing differently because you're here?
I was always a momentum-based player, a momentum-based in-game leader, and when the crowd's there and they're cheering for you, every kill's going down and everyone's on their feet, it definitely plays a factor, it definitely plays a role. I think if you're going to say that there is no home crowd advantage, there is no crowd influence at all, you're a bit short-sighted, because this game, we got 5 people on either side of the stage, and emotions definitely play a role in CSGO.
In terms of names to watch, I just saw the name Nex made out of Thunder Sticks. Is he still your main man to watch and a win condition for Big?
Yeah, I was, sticking with him to finally fall flat, right? We've seen it time and time again, but he's actually been stepping up with each passing game, and he's been one of the difference makers for Big here. So I think he needs to continue to have a strong game. I think, of course, Smooya being the primary operator of the team with the way Navi likes to play, spread around the map, be methodical in taking that map control. I think he can wreak havoc with that Big wing up.
We can't forget the name Tabson. Throughout the last year and a half, maybe 2 years, he has been the best German player consistently. He was putting this team on his back for a period there, dropping 30 kills every game, doing everything. Entry fragging, he was on the pistol, sometimes he was doing on the AWP. He's one of the big factors that has to step up and be a rock, but something else we've seen from Big throughout is clutches. God B winning situations that we never would have thought. He's a player who has to deliver in that same regard.
Secondary opera of the team, it feels like, you know, and I was astounded that Lega just said, like, he picked it up in a scrim, got 2 kills with it a week before the tournament, and now when he feels like he picks it up, even on the T side, which is even more weird, right? And it works, which is, you know, if it works, don't change it. And I think for Big, obviously Overpass, a map that favors Navi. We saw what they did to Astralis yesterday without winning piss around, but the way they play, maps don't matter that much. They play very well as a team, they play off of each other, and they can make things work no matter the map.
Chad, we've talked about it time and time again. Navi love to buy. If they can, there will be weapons in their hands. Is that something that could play into Big's game style?
They definitely need to be knowing it's going to come in, right? So you don't want to be giving a lot of kills when they do force up onto that AK. They do the tactical purchase that Henry has coined. They need to make sure that if they are going to pull out those rounds, trade them out efficiently. Make sure that they can't get more than 3 kills, because that's what they want. 3's the magic number. If you can kill 3 players every round, you're unable to drop guns, you're unable to keep the economy going, and that utility, especially on a map like Overpass, is hugely important.
It starts on Overpass. You know what time it is. Lexus, the German side strides into the grand finals versus Navi.
And we get it started immediately. Big start out on the CT side, having Navi. Okay, hold on. We're going to have a pause just to make sure everyone's set on the stage. So before I build it up too much, we'll get that out of the way. But Big start out CT side. We obviously knew Dust 2 was going to come into this, inevitable in a best of 5 either way. But for Big, they brought it out as the second map of the series. Overpass is a bit different. We've got Simple being as electric as he has been throughout this tournament, and I use that adjective intentionally because that's the other part of that, electronics consistency. And a map where they can get aggressive and Simple can get some freedom, this could be a test immediately for Big.
Yeah, really enjoyed Electronics' performance so far in this tournament. It's actually coming to fruition. Everyone was saying he could be a star with Simple. I wasn't convinced to begin with, but he is developing into a fantastic player. And we have got a technical pause, it's a microphone issue, so we'll get the hype back in the room once we're ready to go. Waiting for one player to come back. It's going to be a few seconds, I'm sure. But Matthew, Big, this is definitely a fairy tale story. No one expected them to be in the playoffs, let alone the grand final, and in with a shout to actually winning the thing.
Hey, they played on Sunday here last year, Henry.
That's right, in a show match.
Yeah, in the Meisterschaft, which just happened immediately. And obviously, that for them was, I remember saying, because they just came off a major, we're going into the major, I should say, rather, Krakow was just after. It seemed out of character, but I thought, well, they could be in this tournament next year, and that was the best I thought. You know, they could be here, they could be an outside chance, yet no one expected this. People have swallowed their tongue throughout the week in watching their performance. The teams they've beaten to get to this final as well, you got to remember, it wasn't like they had a straight line. They had just about all of the hardest opponents they could have going against MIBR. Sure, they're having struggles, but still a team that's won on this stage before. Then you go up immediately after that against G2, who had Kenny S going absolutely off in the early stage of this event, and then FaZe. That speaks for itself, and passed all 3 with flying colors.
You're absolutely right, Matthew. I think we are good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, your grand final of ESL 1 Cologne 2018. Navi versus Big. Let's make some noise and give this game the excitement it deserves. We'll get into it. CT start for Big. They're going to have 3 sets of Kevlar. And Gobby will join them, Tizian with the defuse kit. And there are a couple of smokes available for Navi, a Molotov too. All 5 players heading towards the B bomb site right now. It will be Flamey at the front of the pack. And there's a little boost going on towards B, I believe. It will be CTs ready and waiting to shut down an execution. This could be very powerful. There it is, Tapson up top. Great play up, great aim. Can he deliver here?
Desperate with the boost through the smoke. No damage inflicted as they will get closer. Already passed by the ramp toward the pit as well as Edward spots up over toward Jungle. At the angle, had the flash, takes down Nex immediately. Nex was electric yesterday, he was unbelievable in the semi-final. Shots, William already on the flank, shuts the door, knows that Zeus is there because he made the shots out of him. He can take time to hold him off the site, and that allows them to get more aggressive from the front side. Taps it with 2. Just Zeus, they know where he is. Smuya puts him down, and the defuse already in occurrence.
There we have it, the first round on the board goes in favor of the hometown heroes, 15,000 people behind them. And And Navi, they do get the plant, but not many kills. Only one found. They had a clean entry towards the site. You saw that real decent smoke to block vision from the monster tunnel, but every shot was going in favor of the big squad. We say Tabson was good, but that was fantastic. Smooya holds his nerve, and you can see what it means to him. His first time ever playing at any sort of stage like this, and he's at the grand final. Amazing scenes as we have a 4-nade stack from Navi towards middle. None of them connects. And they'll be buying up AK in the third round, so this is just a full save really. They had those H's at start to maybe get one of the aggressive CT players, steal their rifle and see what they could find, but nothing really else purchased here. A couple of P250s. Smooya waits patiently in the bathrooms. You can see this is a disciplined squad. They're not going to be rushing as God B opens things up.
And it also, due to the early bomb plant, Big bring out a majority of rifles, knowing that they're very likely to be against AKs early. Smooya is continuing where he left off yesterday. Impressive throughout. He's probably gone up the most amount of Twitter followers this weekend out of anyone.
Yeah, I can imagine so.
Either way, another 3 kills for him. Well controlled. Edward down. Now we get into the gun round. An early gun round, which can be detrimental to the economy for Big, but having 5 players stay alive, they should be okay actually to survive it. It's more important that Navi pull off the win, or they will find themselves 4-0 down very quickly.
Here they come, the rifles now. Trying to get a bit of utility to go with them. They'll focus more on the Galils. That's for the electronic and flamey, using the lesser of the 2 rifles available. AKs for Edward, Zeus and Simple. No utility for Zeus at all. So it's a difficult round. They only have the 3 smokes. And CT's, of course, aware of this. They're going to change stance now. Tabson's made his way in towards a connector. And God B, with the Molotov down, actually going to be pushing in towards the playground. He's locked down that side of the map. He's actually forced them to head in towards B now. They've got so much information. And it's a full B commitment here. Nothing too flashy from Navi as all 5 players go through Monster.
Already with Tizian and next smoked off. Tizian looking for a gap, can't find it. Flamey gets there first. Tabson on the flank, only manages 1. Electronic and Zeus to respond with Flamey to find out Smooya. He can get the bomb inside of the smoke copy as well removed. So Navi go with quickness. That's important to note because we know that Zeus's teams often like to run down the clock. They want to set the tempo early. And we saw yesterday on Inferno specifically, Big was very good at holding on to utility if they were allowed to do so. So the fact that they want to set the tempo this early in a game forces Big to have to reconsider, get that utility out, and then when they want to slow things down, they actually can bleed out.
Yeah, that's a really good point. If you do know they don't use their incendiaries at the very start, they're not dropping a smoke and they're not playing classic Counter-Strike, you can abuse that. You're absolutely right. You send 5 players into a choke point like that, they're not going to be dropping incendiaries at the start. You can trade out kills all day long with this squad. Navi, pound for pound, have got stronger fraggers. We're going to see Godby left in the 4 versus 1 here. The round is not possible to win. He's going to be going down with those things as well. Electronic can smell blood in the water. And there it is. The kill comes in his favour. First round on the board for Navi. Lose the pistol, but have managed to pull off the 3rd round force fight. And I'm assuming that's going to be the money in a difficult spot now for Big. They can afford a partial buy. They'll be able to get some CZs, maybe a bit of Kevlar. But not really worth the force. Very early days here, and they're a team that focuses on having strong money. They'll be more than happy to maybe just take ecos instead of having partial buys, because at that point they don't have the utility going forward if things go wrong. So they've got scouts, some CZs, P250s, and some few HE grenades to see if they can get anything done here at all.
Scout aggressive, and it makes contact. Not a headshot, but Simple's tagged at 58. Raises him as he jumps by, and then Smooya immediately rotates out in the direction most likely in which they will travel. Talong flashed off. Luckily he's not exposed. No one else to take the shot against him. Look for more behind the rock, but Simple instead. And he tagged the man who puts him down. As Godby backs off toward B as the scout is gone. I said they could have withstood it and probably forced it a little bit more aggressively to try and counter Navi immediately. This shows Godby's other approach, that he's being rather methodical, and he wants to play the long game with the economy, especially on the CT side. If you find yourself down early on the CT side, it's very difficult to work your way back, and it takes time. And time equals rounds, and you don't want to give any of those to Navi when you don't have to, but they'll take their 2nd here at least as we tie things up. Back to weapons this time around.
Absolutely true. Smooya on the AWP now. And have Navi got a special game plan for Big here. We have seen some interesting approaches. 5-man towards Monster isn't exactly traditional. You maybe rush it, but they went for a full-on contact play. Just walked in with 5 players, and it worked out very well for them. Against the partial buy, nothing really to report. It's going through the motions there as Edward picks them off 1 by 1 with the AK. It's going to be 2-2. The first map of our best of 5. It's going to be an absolute marathon here. I thought it would get more than 3. Time will tell. Smooya, though, with the AWP's got no armor. And he's holding middle at the very start. Can't go super aggressive when you don't have the protection of the Kevlar. And he's just so vulnerable to any sort of bullets, an aim punch, and of course grenades as well. The slower default comes in from Navi this time. 2 smokes deployed towards the B sites. This is them looking like they're trying to bait out utility. They haven't committed to it, so they're trying to bleed out the CTs. They know the money's not going to be amazing on that side of the map. As Electronic starts to probe towards shore, one of the stronger fraggers on Navi, but next, he's winning the other side. He's had an amazing tournament. Not an amazing round, though. He does get the dink, and Electronic comes out on top.
Tizian holding toward Monster. Edward works in. He swings out at the right time. Just one taps and gets another that was towards short instead, but both of them going down opens up the site entirely, so Smooya has to hold with an AWP toward the window. AWP being a notable claim, not only because of his position, but also because of the financial situation. With the bomb now down, if they want to retake him and Gombi, they do not have kits. Smooya is already glass cannon as it is.
Absolutely.
So Gombi's gotten close enough. Oh, okay, he's going to go. I thought they'd wait and see if Smooya found a pick, because now Gombi's committed. There's no saving in this. They're going all in for it, and they've got to go very quickly, as it's already halfway through its life on that bomb defuse, and they give up inside of the site, which means running away. Smoke down. They better hope that Simple doesn't swing out and find them. Smooya manages one. Oh, I say this, it's too far gone to defuse, but they are at least going to get the guns in their hands.
Can't argue with that outcome, really. They both stay alive. They take 2 more players down. Sure, they don't win the round, but that's them surviving and removing money out of the pockets of Navi. As you can see on the T side, their money is absolutely fine. All hovering around $9,000. But Smooya does survive with the AWP, got B with the M4. I would say they could justify a little bit of purchase around this. As I mentioned, I don't think they'll be going for all-in 4 spies, because they need to focus on their money. It's the massive asset of theirs to have all the grenades, defuse kits, and being able to stifle their opposition. So there it is, CZs, P250s, no armor to go with it. Smooya grabs Kevlar at least to give him a little more freedom in round number 6 here. It's up to him really to try and make this a possibility. They'll be with the M4 to back him up. Smooya's not going for a very aggressive pick here, so be holding the bathrooms for now.
Zeus. The bomb is Simple instead. Meanwhile, already down into the underpass, his next readies himself in the site, the AWP and M4. Be with the M4 wants to play long. That allows Smooya to be a little bit more dynamic toward the bathrooms. They know there's an AWP up as well, so longest area on the map is long. That's why it's named that. It's quite apt. Go figure. So why would you challenge it if you know there's an AWP in play? So thinking the same way, Gombi plays it, forces Smooya to go elsewhere. Now we talked about dynamics on Inferno, on Dust 2 for Smooya, and the fact that they prefer to go to a double op with taps, and I still think we'll see that on this map as well, surprisingly, because he can still play it over toward Monster, but the point is, Smooya, when they don't have it, needs to prove that he can play on multiple positions on the map. Flash out, good trade, next with one. Can't push forward to find the gun, but he gets a little bit of support from Tabsa trying to at least get Zeus out of position, and maybe they can extend to grab it. Isn't doing so. Edward already works in from Monster. Smoke down, spots the head of Next, giving him position up, but his teammate's not yet in with him. He won't be able to battle any further forward, and Smooya has rotated around. Now he's starting to come into the fold. So they have to start to commit to the site as well, because again, Zeus's teams, they like to run down the clock. They've only got 18 seconds, so Simple, an important kill, and Flamey to find Tizian, and we'll wrap up the round.
Quite excited for the prospect of Simple versus Smooya. David versus Goliath, if you will. Smooya definitely has proven himself to be quite handy. That round, though, Simple best him after Smooya missed a shot from the connector. Simple repositions, takes him down, and negates the threat. We go into round number 7 here. It's currently 4-2 in favor of Navi. Another buy available, though. Remember, it wasn't a purchase in the previous, but Smooya has got glass cannon once again. Couldn't save the AWP in the previous round, so just the AWP and no armor. This time he actually wants to go for the pick. Waiting for the flashbang right now. Nothing going near him at this point. But Simple is waiting on the other side. Flamey as well, takes him down. Nice shot from Smooya.
Electronic pushing through, spotted by Nex. Good to get him rolling. He was a factor yesterday for sure. 2 kills now. That one has high impact because Electronic out of it with a 5 versus 3, a minute and 20 to work with. They can fall off and play the sites. No need to push out, no need to look for information. Clever boost, in fact, instead.
That's a little bit ultimate with the start, no flashes or anything, but this final 3 ensues.
Well, this boost relies, remember, on Tizian. Nex is weak, and he's the lower man. You take out the man he's standing on, you could easily collect both. So Tizian actually not sporting towards short. Could be a problem. He spots the leg, gets one. Luckily the communication was made, so therefore Tabson got off the head of his opponent and was not a sitting target. And Tizian responds.
Edward and Simple left in a very compromised position. 40 seconds remaining. They are going to commit towards a monster tunnel. Great flashbang. Will take Tizian down. 3-on-2 now. This is now possible as Gobby gets the information, but Tabson completely shuts it down. Nice start. The opening pick of the AWP. Actually, the second frag towards short. It got a little bit dicey towards the end, but overall a solid round there from Big. On their way back now. 4-3. We're going to see the AWP, of course, for Smooya again. Money's going to be weak with the reinvestment on the CT side. Need to try and avoid that harsh reset here. Get those multiple rounds. MP7 for Tizian. Of course, still a full buy here for Navi, but their money's been whittled down at this point. One more loss will get them down to an eco. It's round number 8, and in terms of the setup here, Smooya at the same spot, trying to go for the first pick here. Smoke down to block his vision. He's going to push a bit further here. He actually wants to face straight towards the fountain. Doesn't spot anything though.
Last round to try and save them. They still have one. Or Simple. Absence on the mound. Tizian, left side entry of Monster will pull back out with the flash. It gets him one and only one, but Nex responds accordingly, swings back into position, knew that he had to, as they would be distracted and looking away. Flash time, perfect. Again, it's utility from Big that is winning them duels. Still though, Flamey's skill pulls it back to make this still possible. Simple tries to sting in, but then immediately it's Smooya on the flank, breaking with an off twice now so far in this game. Keep note of that, because he's shutting down the response of any possibility, certainly of Navi falling back after winning up the site. Any altercation that slows them down is going to hold them in, according to Smooya. Flamey wants desperately to get this bomb down with 42 seconds, but he's still taking damage. They know that because they've heard the tag, so Smooya is sliding up, and he'll easily dispose of him.
Sword stuff again. Big looking decent here on overpass. This is Navi's pick. And they're being competitive so far. It's a CT-sided map, but 4-4 and the money completely broken for Navi at this point. They might be able to string a few rounds in a row at this stage. They are going to see the tactical timeout, of course, coming from Navi as they discuss their situation. You see Flamey's got $8,000 there. With 5K, so they've got 3 players that can't really buy the definitely a force in that regard. But they do love a tactical purchase. They're not even going to go for that. It's going to be the full investment here. 3 AKs will come out. That's why they have to take a pause to do the maths and work out who can drop what. So Flamey, Edward, and Simple will get the rifles here. It's going to be Electronic and Zeus. Will be down on the CZs. Arguably, you probably want Electronic with the rifle in his hand as well to go with Simple, but this is what they've gone for. Smooya in the previous round is holding the flanks, didn't have to go too aggressive, waiting for Simple to fall back. That's always going to be the biggest scout on the map to take. Molotoving towards the T-steps once again.
See how,
yeah.
Edward immediately extinguishes it. Saw it coming a mile off. 1 tick of damage, that's all. Smooya knew that, therefore he couldn't get toward the bench.
That's still a victory though for Big, because they wasted a T-side smoke at that point for basically free. Like you're going to be able to have pick regardless. The bait's out of smoke, that's great. That means their execution potential is lower slightly.
Fine. Flamey has Gobby wanted to retreat back in toward the site. So Navi with the opening pick, even with the 2 pistols in hand. Flamey. That doorway again. To open it. Tizian on the other side would awkwardly be waiting, opens inwardly, and not only gets the kill, gets away, grabs the AK on retreat. This is perfect because he takes half damage. He's on 46 HP, bring it level. And by getting the gun and pulling the door shut once more, it denies the chance to pick up the M4. He's now dropped as they want to commit toward the monster tunnel. It's Nex that will swing. Tizian with the pillar to work with. Controls the angle, but goes without utility. Again, they've been doing so well with it. He wanted information, he just wanted to peek and see where they were. That puts pressure on Nex, he finds 2. 2 is arguably enough, but bomb is going to go down, and Simple has an AK. They both have armor. Mentioned Simple over Zeus, perhaps wrongly, because Zeus is another one yesterday who had an incredible resurgence to form.
Yeah, against Astralis, 30 kills, see what he can do here. 2-on-2 now. There is a kit available, but no utility at all for these CTs. And Simple, so difficult to shut down. He'll get the first frag. My God, he's good. 2 of them with the AK come in. As 4 kills in total for Simple, the absolute star on the server right now, 5-4 as they take back the lead. Money now reversed as Big. Now we're looking down the barrel of the force buys. Godby purchases the M4 first. He's been doing this a lot. He'll buy an M4 and his teammates will buy absolutely nothing. That's exactly what we call the tactical purchase. And it's Stranger, he's the one who primarily does it, considering he's got some great stars around him with Tapson next. And even Smooya in some regards with the rifle that could do that role instead of him. But he has had a good tournament. Simple does take him down. That rifle is thrown away. Can they recover it? I'm not sure. It looks like they will. Okay, next they've managed to grab it. He's got no armor though.
Zeus immediately didn't dispose of Tapson. Locked off, no way back. Still the CT-sided map, so I'll be in a great position early on. Thrown flash, accepting the fact that we either would have wanted it to bloom a little bit shy of that mark or bounce off the wall and come back because it didn't cover off the corner at the end of the hall. Electronic and Flamey shut down the rest in easy fashion at that point with that weapon, so it's 6-4. Big, they're not, again, this is the problem with the CT side. There's no additional income aside from the bonus. You can't plant a bomb and get 800 for everyone. You've got to sit back and be patient. As such, there's no AWPs. Smooya still has other ideas. He's gone toward a Deagle.
He certainly has. We'll have a look at this cash with this third stage Ospreys coming in. That might be an overcommitment in terms of the investment. He's only got 2,300 now. Obviously needs a bit more. He's been running the glass cannon 2 or 3 times at this point. As we get to round number 11 here, last few rounds of the first half, Deagle and USPs. There'll be plenty of tactical timeouts here. Here's Lagia, former player of Big, stepped down to be coach now to assist Godby. Godby always said that Lagia understood his system. They worked well together, but his fragging towards the end of his tenure with the team was dropping off significantly. They needed more firepower, and that's why they brought in Smooya. And my God, has it worked in the grand final of ESL 1 Cologne. Coming into this, you would have seeded them as one of the absolute lowest teams, and they bested some huge names: MIBR, G2, and of course FaZe.
Yeah, $1 million denial in many ways. Still a chance FaZe can complete the Grand Slam at DreamHack Stockholm. Good play from Nex as they run the pistols out to water, and Tapson's going to find a gun with time to bring it into his hands. That's Zeus down, bomb included, and he's not done there! Complicated, takes down Simple as they push all the way through with pistols on an upgrade, and now it's Edward left in a 1 versus 4.
Unbelievable scenes. Tapson single-handedly decimates them. Edward surely doesn't even have a shout within this one. They'll be going towards long. The bomb's all the way down that connector though. I just think Navi assumed that was going to be quite a simple round for them as they decided to push through. And there's Tapson. There's Flash, pushes over, manages to get the AK-47. This goes absolutely nuts with it. So Edward, with 50 seconds remaining, you can see on the top left of your screen, the CT's just sat around the bomb, making sure that no one will get near it. And Edward just hoping his players out of position here. He maybe do something with this. Time ticking away now.
Huge recovery from Big. This will give them the 5th round, but not only that, we just mentioned it, the economy tough to build back into. You're just gifted, not only at this point 2 AKs, I say at this point, not done yet, but also the AWP. So we'll hold on to that for now. I think this is how it ends. Edward has no interest in going any further. He wants to keep the AK for himself. Doesn't mean he gets any money, but he'll hold the weapon. The rest will be able to buy on the Navi side. 1 round between them yet again.
Fantastic stuff there from Tapson. A round where it looked like they had nothing more than just some upgraded pistols, but they have been very good at those rounds throughout the tournament. That's what you're going to need if you're going to take down a team like Navi here in a brutal best-of-5 affair. Round 12 coming through as the money reversed once again. Luckily Navi didn't have residual cash there, so they do have 1 more buy available. Simple back on the AWP, 6-5. Here's where it all went wrong. As soon as he got the AK in his hands, the star of Big goes to town, taking down Zeus and Simple. You can see frustration. Getting to young Sasha there. Smooya now, holding the bathrooms. Hasn't been hyper-aggressive. I guess he doesn't have to be. He knows against Simple. Wants to let them play themselves. You can see Navi are presenting a slightly different game. Not trying to telegraph any of their plays, but there it is. Flashback towards short. Next was trying to get information, and he's taken down. A little bit of damage towards Flamey, but that's about it. Are they going to try and recover their sort of reaction? It looks like a potential boost will be coming in.
Yeah, Flash maybe to put them out of position to get the boost up safely. That's noise made though. Electronic is wise to it. While back over toward Fountain, Bombs in that direction, so too is 4 of the 5 Navi players, including Simple with the AWP. Seemingly he wants to take the fight. He's going against Smooya. This is what we've been waiting for. Won't be him to make first contact potentially. I thought giving the bomb away would indicate he wanted to take the shot. Checking every angle. Eventually he's got to spot something. Fires immediately on the shoulder bait. Gets away. Hold his nerve to hold the angle. As Electronic finds Tabson. Opens up more space toward Long as well. Smooya's put a smoke out on bathrooms that might, at least he hopes, might suggest he's gone back to the site. He can catch them off, but playing close, already scoped in, doesn't want to make noise, tries to look at the wall, anticipating flashes. There are some being thrown by his teammates, and he's going to take the initiative to go out because of that. This time he does hold. He knows they're still out there and set up. He's not made any noise at all, but he's got to find them. He thinks they've gone through the smoke. He's got his back exposed. If he steps out too far, he could still deny the bomb, though. Oh, no, he can't. Excuse me. Zeus is just far enough in beside the truck. Somehow he's not yet been spotted. Because there is a player immediately behind him. Flamey's got it, but there was a player holding near the wall. It's Electronic. They never knew he was there because he was so fixed upon the connector rotation that they were back to back, and both thought it was clear. Therefore, Tizian can't go any further. Round is going to go the way of Navi. 7-5. Matter of the gun at this point for Tizian.
Absolutely true. It's Electronic with 2 frags in the round. Edward can hear Tizian coming. This is a guaranteed kill for him. Clean sweep for Navi in the end. Back and forth we go. It was big, they won the eco before, so they're absolutely fine to purchase in round number 13 here. We've got 6,300 on Tizian, so they'll take the pause and just make sure they get this right. Next does have slightly less than everyone else at $2,100. Tabs in 37. I think they will almost certainly buy. It's just to what extent and how they'll distribute the wealth accordingly. Simple. In terms of fragging right now, 8 and 6 at the very top though for Navi. It's going to be Flamey with double digits, 10 and 7 for him. Tabson and Smooya, those are the names at the very top. They will have 10 kills each, so doing a good job in that respect. No one's significantly dropping off. Next is mid-table with 7 kills and 11 deaths there, so the unpause comes through it. It looks like a potential eco. I thought they were going to be purchasing into it. There it is, the last-minute decision with 5 seconds left on freeze time. They start purchasing up. The AWP comes out for Smooya, and MP7 for Tabson, CZ for Gobi, and then a couple of rifles for Tizian and Next. They've got no defuse kits and basic utility. We'll see if they want to change things up, and because they have such a disadvantage with the buy, maybe go for an aggressive pick here. Smooya dodges the grenades and goes for a quick scope through the smoke, of course, and decides to fall back.
Heard out so long, gets by the rock. Flamey's bomb with him, Electronic as well, so this time not looking for map control, just looking for force. Smooya again playing short side by Bathrooms. No one, even a lesser weaponry, no one even considering long at this point in time, so probably are almost going to walk directly into the site. And Smooya's going to have a ton of pressure applied to him if that's the case, because if they sneak in long behind him, closes the angle, and he's forced to react. It's not like he's ready for it. He can't go back to long now either, because Simple's certainly holding off that angle. Crosses. He's made that one-off shot and gets back across. That means he'll be able to hold from truck. Still the same problem. Gobi's got to rotate. Backstairs are going to be hard to get out of with utility. Throw them their direction. 48 seconds. Smooya can't land the first shot. That might make a massive difference. Does manage to make 2, getting Edward in return. Bomb not yet planted, but they'll pick him apart with nades. Further thrown that direction, and Flamey runs him down, but it exposes Electronic in the process. Zeus spots Tabson just barely inside of the smoke.
Have you seen how basic the approach is from Navi? They don't go for tactical executions whatsoever, and it seems to be working. Big aren't getting the cues they're used to of seeing all the smokes come through as they drop theirs. They're getting straight up angels here, and they're not rising to the occasion on these important rounds. As we'll see 2 kills come in, and just Tizian now has to fall back. It's Flamey with 2 frags, Electronic and Zeus helping him out at the same time. Luckily for Big though, Simple isn't having one of those games where he's absolutely going off, so he's looking relatively contained for now. But they do give this round up. It's going to be 8-5 as Tizian desperately tries to hold on towards T-Spawn. He's got the M4A4 and 1 smoke. That's about it. You can see Zeus hunting for him right now. He might be able to do something better, so obviously in the wrong direction. So Tizian will stay at the M4, and he's going to need it. The next round has to be pretty much full eco. They've got around $2,000 per player, second stage loss bonus. Oh, that is quite sad, isn't it? He's at the Polish
I mean,
corner.
Snacks was here at least.
That's true. So a little bit of representation.
Round 14. Tizian, the only weapon so far for the CTs, and Zeus is aware of the situation. He's gone Mac 10 with armor. He'll try and run and gun against the other 4. Presuming he doesn't run into Tizian first. Sit back to Warpy and get boosted up to see into water. And toward B with Smooya holding off connector. To get an early call. If he goes down, they'll likely push back up the stairs, though, and never head this direction at all. No surprise, Zeus leads the way. Next the corner, a little bit of noise. Smooya beats him to the punch.
Where's the trade?
Go for the reload. You're right, there should have been a trade because now it's a gun available to Smooya. He's going to swing back out. That allows him to open up the door, but they can't peek fast enough. Flamey's able to get the first kill. In such a fashion, I was going to say that Tizian won't get in place, but he has now. And he knows that he's weakened up Edward in the corner still. They trip over each other. He gets one back. Next, somehow with just the back 10 that he's picked up, not one of the rifles, brings it down to just Simple. A chance again for Big to steal a round away as Simple goes hunting. As the AWP, so close quarters, he wants the Deagle instead.
Navi not doing themselves any favors there. You're going through connector, you're not using any utility, you're not molotoving angles, you're not going together. That's just a really sloppy round from them, but luckily they have got the absolute best player in Csgo to pull off this 2 versus 1. God B with a default pistol, and he's got decent time, and he's got past God B undetected at least for now. As they make it way towards A, presumably going to plant the backside, and then it becomes real difficult. But Big at that point, they have no kits. And Simple just clears out the area. No one's going to hear this plant coming through, but the smoke does go down. And here we go. Up against Simple is Nex and Gobby with an AK between them.
How does he expect the arrival of Gobby? Because the fact that he never saw anyone toward A, he thought they stacked up, and that's why they were so powerful down below. He doesn't have anything to work with. He'll be the one that needs to search for the information and then let Nex try and go to work with the AK. Simple's ready for both angles, seemingly playing the truck, allows him to control it. Pistol damage, and it actually does distract exactly what Nex wanted. 8 to 7, they're going to split the half. Well done from Big to pull things back into control as well, especially having lost track of the economy for a small period of time.
2 eco victories now for them, and Navi almost handing them to it. It's pretty unbelievable the way they're approaching those rounds.
I say 8-7, excuse me. I thought it already jumped to 6 at the top. So 8-6, we're fine.
8-6, yeah, we've got one more round, and yeah, they really need to just be a little bit more methodical on their anti-ecos. While they're just walking at the tight choke points with an AK, with a single player, this really blows my mind. You saw how messy it got. If you Molotov, nade, flash that corner, go together, make sure you're trading out, and you've got some presence towards middle as well to pincer that position. It really shouldn't be that chaotic against the CZ, but they made a meal of it. Just one player took down Zeus, and then all hell broke loose. 8 to 6 now, as we get into the final round of the first half.
Be aggressive this time at Fountain. We've yet to see anyone play this position for Big. Problem with it is that you have to watch the backside of the park. And Smooya was looking away for a moment, but just look back to check it as Gobby retreats, not having had anyone arrive. No need to stay up there for that long. It's a numbers game at that point. You're going to play that aggressively and stay there. Then either they're all gathering around you, or more likely, although not the case in this particular occasion, that they're going to the other side of the map and you're well removed. So calculated, they'll fall back. Down a bathroom again, Smooya plays the short side. Potentially dropped toward the disco bounce flash, well thrown. Certainly has the angle right on that one, but Tapson spotted it coming. He's able to get his head down in water, holding for Electronic. I say holding, but he's holding the wrong thing. It's a smoke in his hand. So Electronic a free kill, free rite of passage, and they'll take control of construction. They have to retreat for the bomb so they can't continue a forward pressure stance from that position. He'll hold instead Electronic by himself to get information at B while Edward goes hunting toward A. Smooya has subsided back inside of the site. Watching if front of the bathrooms rather than okay, there we go, closed door. I was gonna say he might not spot Edward timing everything. Now he realizes it and goes back as he jumped up. First kill success. Knows there's likely to be company. Jumps again to find further information, but he's watching out for utility as Zeus absolutely destroys him over the small box.
That's a beautiful shot there from Zeus. 9 seconds. Godby can still deny this. Not anymore. Will be planted as he gives his position up. Be throwing a smoke. He anticipates another player in that position, but they're both towards the bathrooms right now. Another 2-on-2, and it's the final round of the half.
Tizian actually has a wall of smoke to get toward the bomb. I don't think he was aware of it. Flamey knows now, so he's going to get out and try and get on this before the smoke's fully dissolved. They'll hear him get on that defuse, but they're firing above it. Golby needs to swing out and protect him. He can't do it, but it doesn't matter. They never found him. In the smoke, now we get the 8-7, and they'll split the half down the middle.
Navi have had some absolute howlers of rounds. They've given up way more than they had to. But there it is, Big fighting back, tooth and nail there. It was Godby that got the one frag. He threw that smoke on top of the bomb. Tizian saw it, you spotted him. And as soon as he went for the full defuse, you can see the panic set in. They weren't exactly sure where the bomb was planted. They couldn't find him in the smoke. And that's not the half Navi were looking for. They looked like they were pretty decent in the first few gun rounds, but so many mistakes made, so many positions not checked, so many utility pieces not used. It was a little bit disastrous at points, but still, they do have the lead. Going into the CT half, they will have 8 on the board. But Big, they've been very good at pistol rounds throughout this tournament. They're going to have a couple of smokes here. The Molotov at Tizian, and 2 flashbangs as well.
Just to go back to that too, I don't think Tizian knew he had that wall. I think Godby spotted it. When he threw the second smoke, he said, whoa, hang on, they're both at bathrooms, go.
Yep.
Get on it. And to make note of the 7 rounds that Big got, and to Utility's point, they were very good at their flash tools early on. They never really got the double op rolling with Tapsim, which has been an instrumental part of their CT success. So to still get 7 rounds is promising, but it is Navi that has the lead going to the favored side. And they've got the start in the pistol, but that's pulled back. Simple with 1 Tapsim response to get electronic.
4-4, Simple down to 7 HP here. In terms of the overall complexion of the rounds, Smoothie investigating towards Shaw, but he might get a little bit more than he bargained for. Edward has spotted him crossing over. He'll be going in first. They are going to rotate back towards Monster. He might have the advantage here. Smoothie gets a solo duel once again where 2 players are there. Luckily, Edward finally gets the trade out and maintains the man advantage here. He is alone. 64 HP as Nex takes down Simple. That was the low HP player. Godby left in a 2 versus 1. He certainly has come out on top in a few of those this tournament, most notably against FaZe yesterday. Can't pull this one off and no plan comes through. As Navi pick up the second half pistol here. Get into the anti-eco. I'd imagine they force by considering they have no plant at that point. They do sometimes just get Deagles, no armor, and try and keep the money a little bit healthier. We'll see what they go for here. And there's only 1 rifle for Navi. If the bomb had gone down, you probably expect to see a few more M4s, but this is fine. And as said, Big just getting P250, CZs, no armor or nade. So that could mean they're maybe planning something a little bit special for next round. If they can get the bomb down, they still have the option to buy AKs into the third. That's a big if though. Getting the bomb down with no armor, no nades is quite the task.
Absolutely. On a map like Overpass, it's not Train where you can rush it into the B site. Like the bomb sites are super close to tight choke points. You could argue it's sandbags, but take a look that direction. I was going to say, an Edward so far forward, that's tough to get to. The fact that they get him down for free certainly creates the possibility. It also gives them an SMG to work with.
It can't be another full eco victory for Big, can it? They've had 2 already.
That's the remarkable fact, is that they've had 2, and yet they're still down on the scoreboard. It just goes to show you that without those, it could be blown wide open. So yes, both teams have given opportunity. CT sided winning those. It saves any chance they had at bringing the half to a competitive level.
Here we are, all 5 players waiting to go towards the A-bomb site. It's Electronic who's alone in the bathroom, protected by the smoke for now. They have got the MP9 picked up. That was from Edward's court. He pushed towards Shaw and found 3 players in the connector waiting for him. They seem to be aware of Electronic's position map. They could be coming around the corner and pre-firing this. He could be in a lot of trouble here. Simple rotates in to check how long. Has Electronic got a chance to stay alive? Looks like he will. Manages to get just a 1 frag for now, and the advantage almost might be going in favor of Big. They've got a rifle and a 3-on-2.
Zeus knows that they're likely already in toward the back stairs, so he wants to get away from the stairs as quickly as possible so as not to be caught off by exactly that man. Smoothie, good read, awareness, couldn't deny the bomb, but still does get the planter down, which gives them the chance to get on it immediately, and they'll do exactly that. Navi will get away.
That was a little bit scary, wasn't it? They get the opening pick. Luckily, just the MP9 picks up. They managed to get towards 8, and Matt, they get that plant down. So like we said, going into this round, if they can get the plant here, they do get AKs for the 3rd round. This was round number 2. So that's really boosted their chances now. That's perfectly played by Big. That round pretty much couldn't have gone any better for them. Obviously, could have won it, but considering the context of having just P250s, no armor, to get a full buy in the next round, you got 3 kills. That's amazing. They should have a firm advantage going into the next one.
Awkward rundown from Zeus, but it's the second shot that really cemented it.
Yeah, if he could deny the bomb there, that could have been enough. But still, he wins the round. MP7 for Edward, 4 M4A4, as you can see. As AK's come out in full force here, 10-7. Looking to answer back, but a decent grenade towards the big squad from Simple does do a lot of damage.
Toward long again this time. Bomb is the 3rd man back. By taps and Smooya checks out Panther connector. Simple has already decided to backwards toward A. Quick little glance at what's going on at B shows us quite clearly there's 3 players over there. One of them has 3 HP. That's Flamey. Big starting to play that time game where they just put a little bit of pressure on one side of the map, start to force the defense to reconsider, and are hoping they can catch them in transition. It's not even really a fake, it's using the clock and a tiny amount of utility to not show anything. Try and bait out the CTs, which they've now done. They've got another smoke down toward Monster. No smokes left. Contact made on A. That might force a rotation, but they haven't left the site in B yet. In fact, this might be read by Navi because the smoke at Monster still holds them off, and there's no further action, so Edward's going to be ready. Certainly for a fight. Whether or not he wins it, all pushing in. With an SMG, good nade, though, softens them up. The SMG can do massive damage. Thankfully, the one player not turned around, not blinded off his Goppy, and he holds with the AK, because that could have been a slaughter as they've gotten through Monster. Tizian now toward the pillar will hold off. Work down, find Zeus, but can't find the angle, and Electronic to get the complimentary kill to bring it 2 versus 2 with 13 seconds. They won't be able to get to the bomb. Goppy has held Zeus off long enough, and Electronic will get both back in turn somehow immediately over the ramp.
Well, there we go. It was looking so scary there for Navi, but Electronic steps up. Again, Edward caught in a compromised position, go for the aggressive plays with the SMG, pushes through a smoke with a flashback from his teammate. You can see how discombobulated he was when he finally got out of there. I don't think that was a play that was really required. I guess he saw the timer on 20 seconds and he thought maybe they're setting up for an execution here. I'll get some information, take one of them down, but almost gave them an absolute entry in towards the site. An entry kill without even pushing in. That's not too bad at all, but Electronic, he's been absolutely sensational the last month for Navi, and that round is no different. He saves them completely with a 4K towards the B bomb site. It is going to be round number 19, of course. The CZ's coming out, and a partial buy overall from Big. They have got Kevlar and some bare bones utility as well. Edward keeps wanting to apply the pressure here, man. He goes down again. He's got to stop doing this. Okay, that's got to be it now. Stop pushing every single round.
Caught with SMGs, caught with rifles, going down to pistols in each occasion. Now that rifle holds in the hands of Tizian, but he's now the only one left. As Simple finds the angle, Tizian does get Flamey back, so something to work for, something to pull out economy. Yet to win a round on this T side so far for Big, this being the first gun round. Likely we head to 12 rounds for Navi. Don't forget, Dust 2 comes up next. That's where Big's had the majority of their success in this event. Simple holding off the backside for the rotation the other direction. Should be able to pick up a clean and easy kill. Spots the gun. Oh, is he going to? Oh, he doesn't get the opportunity, but he absolutely would have loved to have done that just for the sake of silencing everyone.
He even had 10 HP, Simple. Didn't want to go for the guaranteed kill to take him down. Let's just try and get a knife. Could have fallen apart, but of course, it's Simple. He pulls it off, and we get to round number 20 here. It's going to be another buy available for Big. And again, I really feel like Edward does need to calm down a little bit there. He's getting caught out in the last 3 rounds due to aggressive pushes, mainly towards shorts. AK's out for Big, though. No AWP available. That's absolutely fine. Smooya is a competent rifler as well. Up against the Simple AWP. That, of course, gives him a bit more freedom, not having another orb to go up against. Nades towards the T steps for now. Nothing connecting as of yet. And Tizian looking for the first pick once more. Can they take down Edward again? Could be the case. A little bit of damage there towards him. Just one bullet connects, and they have to drop a smoke to push Tizian back.
Still, though, he's at the cubby. As we often talk about as an integral part to hold. Gives you the B option later on. not as integral as Banana, but similar approach, right? You get one player there, he's able to hold off, get rotations, or at least figure out the rotations based on what he hears. He can hold utility and try and keep them contained on that side of the map. The only reason I say it's a little bit different is that it doesn't open up as much opportunity because it's not as close to the point of contest at the site. Simple to Smooya. Couldn't land it. Good movement mechanics by Smooya in the air. In fact, did take damage from it, but only through the edge of the wall.
Towards B they go. Tapsin and God B. This is what you call a contact play. Nothing too technical in terms of the execution, but nothing but perfection and going for the shots. Tapsin and God B crack open the sights. And that should be the round. CT's got no chance of this one whatsoever. They spotted some weaknesses towards the B bomb side. It will be Edward and Flamey to go down with absolutely nothing done. And that's the beauty sometimes of the contact play. It's not telegraphed at all what you're doing. If you spot a choke point like Monsters not being covered efficiently like that, they're playing a very passive setup, you can come through and get out of the tight area and manage to demonstrate some aim there. Timed it to perfection. As soon as the CTs are falling back, that's when they walk through and found both the kills, bomb down. And as we said, Navi have no chance, and they have to just save up here. Zeus has the AWP because he was low, and a couple of AKs could be saved here at the same time. You can see the money not great at all for the CT side, so this makes a lot of sense. You've got a huge lead at the moment, no point to throw it away and try and go for impossible retakes. Save the cash, take it to the next round, but there it is, Big with their first round in the second half. It's currently 4-1 in this half and 12-8 overall in favor of Navi. A big face paint going on here today.
Yeah, I think they've won over a lot of people. Again, sure, they're the home team and there's always going to be support for them, but expectations weren't exactly what they are now. And the first game we casted them in this arena in the quarterfinal, even then I wasn't overwhelmed by the crowd support. Nothing against the crowd here, but now it's changed. Now it's very obvious that they're fully behind this team. Just a note of the scoreboard, Flamey and Electronic lead the way on 18 apiece. Not too many people at the bottom end of it, just Tizzy and Gobby that are still in single digits. Everyone else is pretty close.
Absolutely. Good to see. Smooya performing well on the stage again. 16 frags for him. The tactical timeout comes through. It was the CTs that are a little bit worse for wear after losing that previous round. Did save the AWP though. And are we going to see the Smooya simple battle continue? Not quite. Smooya will be back to the AK-47 as we get into round 21 here. Simple this time heading towards the B bomb side, not towards middle. And I guess it's because they've said they're doing contact plays towards B. He wants to go over there and challenge that and make sure they can't just walk into the site. Maybe scare them off for a few rounds. The fact that Simple could be there, and he really is looking for the first kill. Spots the legs of one. I'm not sure Tizian is away. He has been spotted, but the flash is decent. Simple, what a shot that is. My goodness. Minimum room for error there, and he just pulls it off perfectly.
Just to notice when we go back, when we get a little bit of time to discuss it, the utility usage in flashes yesterday, Gobby was way above everyone else. It was actually Zeus that led the way, and continues to by a margin of 1, but in the first half, he had 5 more flashes that were effective than even Gobby.
Wow, yeah, Gobby's been
double in-game leader.
He's got like 30 yesterday. One of the maps was unbelievable. As we get into Smooya play, he's going to be going towards the A-bomb site alone for now. Smoke towards the bathrooms to hold him off, and he's got Simple waiting on the other side. He's spotted one, but that could be his unraveling because he doesn't know Smooya is in a close range position. Smooya is utility being thrown now. Simple though, but he doesn't know where players are. He's still incredibly fast.
Yeah. He spotted the gun barrel. I think he saw it when he jumped because you can see when he landed, he immediately switched his focus to get ready to peek next. Does get him back, however, so this still creates possibility. As Molotovs go out to the stairs, but Incendiary's thrown in return. They don't really do much to account for Tapson's angle, though, do they?
Not much. They're going to fall back towards the B side. This could be a huge call. Try not to say big too much, man.
I know, it's tough.
I have to stop myself. And it's going to be
It's not an adjective I use very often.
And it looks like it's not possible, if I'm honest. They've smoked out of the B sides, and all Flamey has to do is get one kill here. And Edward luckily gets it for him. That's going to be the end of the round because there's no plan possible now. Tapson just has to stay alive. Frustrating finish for them. It's actually looking pretty decent with the map control they have. But the last minute call to go back towards B, they get a taste of their own medicine there. The last second smoke being deployed towards shore completely blocks them out of the round. I think when you see that smoke, you pretty much have to bail out. Instead, let's just keep the weapons up.
This is a game, I think, more than any other. Well, I won't say more than any other, but more than some of the recent ones that Navi have had. Look, you talk about going to Gambit, winning the major. He comes back over, they set it on the desk. And Navi, after ups and downs, finally find themselves back in a final. Zeus is going to be tested going against the leader like Gopi, because this is going to be a mind game throughout, which is why the utility has to be something you monitor the whole series, whether it goes 3 maps or 5, it's going to be a factor.
They're quite similar in terms of their play styles, both very slow, methodical, love executions, as Simple continues to apply pressure here, takes down one of the key players of the big side with the AWP, that's Tabson. Completely removed at the beginning of the round. Electronics looking sharp as well. You have to walk in towards the B side, hope for the best here, boys. Edward has been weak on this side of the map. Maybe if they can get 2 opening picks again, they'll be absolutely fine. There's the first, and Flamey to defend him.
Simple still has range with the AWP. Can't hit the shot immediately on the site, but Flamey now knows they're there. In turn, they know he's there, and next goes by! What a recovery to find Zeus peeking out immediately after as well. And Tizian never left the ramp, which means he can still spot toward the window. Simple on 15, and they'll be smoked off. He cannot get aggressive with the AWP, but the bomb now goes down. That changes things. It's still into a one-on-one as Tizian reads Electronic trying to pounce upon the drop bomb. The Simple have the read that it's there.
With 45 seconds as well, huge advantage for Tizian. He could suggest he's gone towards A. Simple, such low HP, can't even commit to a peek to get information here. He's holding a tight angle, he's hoping. And Tizian plays himself and walks into his crosshair. 30 seconds. Tizian doesn't really have time to fall back towards A at this point. He's committed towards B, and he is going to plant. That's the cue for Simple to start making his way in.
Simple's heard it. He played it so he couldn't go anywhere with the long way around. He's looking for the angle, desperately getting closer. Tizian with 1 shot toward the window has given up. He has gone to the left side. Oh my, that gun shows. Simple can't land it when he peeks, and he's lost track of him. He thinks he's gone forward, which means Tizian has a wide open shot.
So much pressure. A lot of these players haven't even been on the big stage before, and Tizian holds his nerve against one of the world's best there. 1 versus 1. Plants the bomb, and it patiently waits around. He was actually spotted twice there, but Simple couldn't find the shot, and that is massive for them, because now the money is completely shattered for Navi. That round pretty much would have secured the map for them. That was going to be it. You can see what it means. For Tabson there, right in the middle. Presumably the full eco comes in, and it's going to be a tactical timeout. I think you're going to see a lot of these in this best of 5. Both teams very fond of them and having chats. Obviously, you get your coach involved, and you can discuss your options here. 2 players are able to buy Navi. That's going to be Zeus and Simple. They can even get an AWP for him if they wanted to make a huge commitment there. Money is low for big as well. They know they can win this round somehow. That's pretty much it. They'll have 14-9 and completely destroy their money in turn, but that's a pretty big ask. Doesn't look like they'll go for the all-in investment. They're just going to get some CZs here, P250s.
Aggressive stance to the bathrooms. Pistols burrowing behind rocks. Off the angle to see that they won't push any further as Gavi gets information and successfully does so. Doesn't even take any damage. Must win round for Big. Can't afford to give up to these pistols anything at all as they want to build their economy back into it and close down the gap. Give this to 14 rounds and it's, I'm going to say, over at that point because their economy goes out the window in the process.
Just the CZs, you can see Big playing these rounds a lot more differently than what Navi did. They were walking into tight choke points by themselves, and Big are making sure they've got everyone there and no one can go down to a single pistol. As they flash over, they can finish this correctly, but Edwards does get 1. Taps in there, the instant reply.
Don't even.
This could get a little bit uncomfortable for them. They have lost the man advantage, but surely going to recover that flag.
Yeah. SMG's just fine. Even if we went for that AK, it could have cost them. They do pull it back, as you say, to 3-on-3. And Tizian has snuck up. Edward trying to read it where he dare. Couldn't find the shot. And it's Tizian to start off toward the sandbags as well. Simple with the deagle. Molotov won't even come close to him. Flash certainly will, but he's fine. He'll keep his head down. Doesn't need to move yet. Speaking of heads, off goes Tizian's. Simple to go back out. Oh, if he swung a little bit further, he might have had another one. Spots the player with sandbags, but knows there's one up close to his left. And that's enough to distract him, enough to allow Smooya in, and they will control it. 10-13.
And one thing that has to be said about the Big squad, Matt, is they have been the kings of comebacks in this tournament. It looked like yesterday against FaZe and Dust 2, it was all over. They couldn't do anything on the map, but out of nowhere, they did win an eco, and they managed to string together so many rounds and managed to take it to overtime. They did lose the map eventually, but still, it was really fantastic to watch. And this one feels similar. They were 4-0 down, but they managed to stable things somewhat with 5-3 scoreline in the second half. And money, still not ideal for Navi. They'll take another timeout to discuss their options here. 13-10 in their favor, so they can afford another partial, but they wanted to is make sure they have absolutely everything. Maybe they want to try and get towards a double orb setup. The only problem right now is Zeus has $3,900. At the very top is Simple with 64, so enough to get an orb out and maybe one player on an SMG, but is that enough for what they want to do?
Utility's such a factor in this game that Edward's monitor has actually just stopped working. There's been so many smokes and flashes inside of it, so they'll do a very, very fast monitor swap on the stage and we'll get back underway. Technical timeouts. Best of fives when you and I are casting, Henry, have always gone the distance.
They really have. They are long, grueling affairs. 5 maps available. It really is the test of who can hold their nerve. It's exhausting and it's a high pressure environment. It's mentally draining. But yes, most of the time they do go to all 5, and the quality of play in terms of how efficient people can be and how precise the aim is does drop off towards the end, but that only leads to amazing moments and crazy clutches and some very special 5th maps, which is normally Inferno. But round number 24, like you said, a monitor being switched out. Hopefully won't take too long.
I think it's already issues. Yeah, I think it's already done. As I said it, they'd already had the second one on the stand. They just popped it clean off the mounts, threw another panel on, and then plugged it in. So I'll just do quick check, I'm sure. Adjust it back to his height. Taps in, enjoying the moment.
Absolutely. Take this time to rile the crowd up. Tapson currently on 15 kills. Top still is Smoothie of 18, next with 17. So Zeus is just fiddling with the last few settings now to make sure everything is working. He's got his sound on. Looks like we might be almost ready to go. 13-10, big on the comeback, but they are on the team side on overpass.
Point, though, having forced the money into the situation that we find ourselves in, Simple will be fine. I glance all the way down to make sure everyone's headsets are on before I say too much. They are, so I can tell you that yes, that Simple is fine to bring out the AWP. Everyone can see it on the screen in the arena, so 2 at home, but it's make or break again, CT side. Yeah. So if they're able to pick this up for big and they go to 11, there is a chance they can pull this back. Likewise with Navi, it's 1 round at a time at this point, and if they get to 14 now, I pretty much take the chance out of it completely, but I can still be proven wrong. I just think that it would be a really tall order for big at that point. They have to win this economically. Same way they did to FaZe yesterday, in fact.
So Big have taken a tactical timeout after the technical. The reason for that being you can't talk in the technical pauses, so they just want to discuss their options here. It's coming to the very last few rounds potentially. As you can see, some of the replays here of the P250 work from Smooya. Nice stuff to win in that previous round. Round 24, and the biders come in. Simple has got the AWP. Zeus is the only player that had low money. He'll be down to just that UMP. They've got no kits right now. They cannot afford one either. The fuse gets quite dear in this game. $400, used to be $200 and 1.6. What is going on there? Is it the hand warmers or lunch?
A couple of M&Ms. That sugar in you keep the energy up? Now it looks like the hand warmers. They used to be a little bit more iconic than we have seen lately.
Yeah, we don't really see them that often anymore. Maybe we do, I just haven't noticed. Either way, Simple with the AWP, pushing off towards short, and oh my goodness, Smooth has got his number. Has he? Has he? How has Simple come out on top in that battle? He knew exactly where he was coming from, had the crosshair perfectly placed, and somehow Simple keeps delivering shots but not connecting them. Tizian will get the frag back in response.
I am so shocked he even got away with one. Thankfully, Tizian makes up for it, because if Simple finds both of those, Round might be too far out of reach before it even really began. Minute 15 to work with 4-on-4. They can start to divide the defense, but the defense not willing to rest on that. Has already looked for information. They've pushed well out in toward construction at B. They know, therefore, this has to be going toward A. They'll rotate boot 2 back. Swapping guns in doing so. Flamey the op to arrive on the stairs, if so too do the terrorists approach on A. Go the same direction. He'll be ready at range. And it doubles in giving it to him, because if he rotates back, he can also play on the window. Nonetheless, Zeus still hungry for information at this point. 37 seconds. First kill goes Flamey's way. Good find on next. That shuts down one approach to the A site as they hold off toward the front side of the bathrooms. Bomb has to walk in silently, so the fight has to go directly on from the stairs as Flamey takes out Tapson. Him on the AWP after Simple goes down. It's got 3 kills for them so far. The only 3 as it sits to his side. Tizzy and Agabi finding kills, but it's the flank from Edward. He pushed out so aggressively in B early on, and he knew exactly when to strike. It's 14-10.
Lovely stuff there. The flank is absolutely perfect. And he comes through with 10 seconds remaining as well. He knew they would be trying to get that bomb down any way they could. Calm shots, they had no idea. And it will be 14-10 with the money broken for Big. I assume another tactical timeout here. Indeed it is. They've got $2,000 per player. It's their last time out, I believe. Let's see whether they want to buy into this one or allow Navi to get to map point here. The first of our potential 5 maps. I think they are going to have to do that. Unfortunately, it's a bitter pill to swallow, and the comeback felt like it was on, but this is going to be very, very difficult now at this point. It's Flamey getting it done with the AWP. Quite handy with the weapon as well. I guess technically you'd say he's a secondary AWPer. Smoothie, that's him in disbelief. He's like, how have I been taken down there? And that's him meeting Simple for the first time. And I think Smoothie is probably investing a lot of AWPers in this tournament, but there's not many players out there that can be faster than young Simple.
You can hit a million shots, but missing one in that fashion, that haunts you.
Indeed. Gets inside your head. You don't want to challenge him anymore. Too fast, too confident. As we'll see, pretty much a full eco here, no armor. And Edward wants to push B again. This time, though, needs to be very careful. They can't lose the pistols once more. Decides to fall back. That's a smart idea. Against these pistols, you don't need to find the opening kill. They've got no grenades, no armor. You just hold crossfires, you get a win.
Good nade. Fractional damage only to Smooya. The intention was correct. Get it through the window. Simple, meanwhile, will buy himself some space. Not going down early means the op stays in his hands firmly this time. Reason to be hopeful. You mentioned it already. Big have won 2 rounds on the eco. In this game, mind you, they were both on the CT side. Closer to the bomb site. Laid out MP7. He's hoping that his vision won't be whited out. It doesn't matter. Good boost, good hold from Tapson. Opens up a lot of space. They can run it toward the plant, but they've got 14 seconds in doing so, and Edward's not even going to let them get there. 3 kills. Bomb goes down. Very well controlled. As Simple closes the round. It's map point, map 1 for Navi.
Excellent opening kill there from Tapson. Good idea. Boost behind the smoke. Get the 1 deke. It would have been an absolute miracle if they could pull that one off, but Edwards was there, gunning them down. Like we said, no armor. Makes them incredibly squishy when they make their way through. Few bullets in their general direction. And he finds 3 kills. Potentially the last round here. It's going to take 5 in a row to take Big to overtime here. They did it quite a lot throughout this tournament, especially against FaZe yesterday. A notable one there. AKs and a Khalil. Tizian will be doing the rest. A rifle, and it's Smooya to go down first with good trade. 4-on-4 technically does favor the terrorist forces as it thins out the defense here. Money's not ideal for Navi. They do lose this round. There is a chance to string some rounds together.
Patience again for Simple. Edward and Zeus both looking at their respective choke points. As Zeus is a little bit closer toward the sandbags than Edward is toward Monster. Gobby's going to rotate back around Tizzy and will start to head that direction. They need more information. They're not entirely content with their positioning. Interesting approach from Gobby. Deep smoke back from the stairs. Simple gets to see above it for free, and if they think this has covered him off, they might have a problem going toward the connector because Simple can see immediately over it. Gobby almost plays himself throwing a deep smoke that he thinks can be used tactically. It counters it. Although it does leave a gap, Tabson nearly gets control of. Flamey manages to survive only just. It forces him into the corner at long. They know he's there, but no one out there to capitalize on it. Doesn't really help.
There it is. 4 versus 3 now. Potentially the last round. Big. With 30 seconds remaining, the bomb in the connector right now. Where do they finish up? They've got 1 smoke and an incendiary. A couple of flashbangs. It looks like it'll be a B bomb site finish. There's rotations coming in. Zeus backing up Edward as the smoke goes down perfectly here. A couple of kills will do it, but Zeus finds nothing. Edward, the last line of defense now. Can he find both frags? He can't, but Simple, that should do it, Matt. The bomb's down the pit. I don't think there's even time to win the round, but Simple will get the final frag regardless, and there we have it. 16-10 in favor of Navi. It is their map pick. They even made a ton of mistakes there, man. It's still quite a convincing scoreline. Remember, they lost to, what, 2 or 3 full ecos. It didn't look great to kick things off. A little bit uncomfortable in their map pick, but still they get the job done.
Absolutely do. Encouraging signs from Big nonetheless. Didn't have much economy to work with. Won 2 anti-eco, or rather 2 ecos, excuse me. Navi lost 2 anti-ecos to give themselves a chance to pull it to 8-7, but Navi do capitalize. We go to Dust 2, and that's the important part. If they have any game in them, that's where we're going to see it.
Absolutely. Dust 2 has been a fantastic map for them, and we'll see if they can do it after this break.
Incendiary out.